Shalom, family. It's good to see everybody here. Thank you, dark skinned brother, for your support. Thank you so much. And everybody, we're going to go over an incident that happened in Times Square where NYPD officers were assaulted by migrants. And yes, it was a physical assault. So, what I'm going to do, because YouTube gets all funny style about these videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the link in the chat, and you can go out there and watch the video. The video is just a little over a minute, but you'll see how they literally assault these two NYPD officers. And the same thing happens that we've always seen. They get arrested and then get released with no bail. So they weren't even held. And they're really wasting their time with the way they're doing things, because they'll put, for instance, they'll put those tracking monitor devices on them. And they said those migrants just take them off. Now, what do they do to our melanated men and women that take those devices off? They put you in jail. You have one of those monitor devices on and you take that sucker off, they're putting you in jail. Okay? That's what they're going to do to you. But they don't even do that with these migrants. Once they take it off, it's just off. So they know nothing is going to happen to them. And see, that's another reason why all of their crimes are going to go out of control. See, it's cold right now. Wait until the warm days come. Trust me, the crime in all of these areas that they're in is going to go through the roof. And I said to myself, if a black man even look like he's going to hit a cop, they'll shoot you. Okay? No cop, they got completely assaulted. Let me put the link in there again. I'm going to put the link there so y'all can go and watch it. If a black man even look like he's about to do something to a cop, they're going to shoot him. I don't hear them saying they're fearing for their lives. They don't pull any weapons out on these migrants. None. And they certainly don't keep them in jail either. It's like the complete opposite of everything they do to us. So now you know there is no doubt, ladies and gentlemen, all the gunning down and I fear for my life, putting the canines on us, that's all exclusively for the Black community, because you sure don't see them doing this to those migrants, and those migrants are laying hands and feet on them. Now, when you go look at that clip, they are kicking them, and you can see clearly one of those cops got kicked in the head by those migrants, and they were trying to arrest one of them, and they ganged up on these cops, and they were able to pull the migrant they were attempting to arrest away. But eventually they did get them and took them all down, took them all down, but had to let them all go. And these judges are letting them all go. The same judges sitting on the bench throwing the book at us and making our people serve these outrageous sentences are the same. These aren't different judges. Don't believe that for one moment. These are the same judges that sentence us to astronomical sentences. They are appearing in court and being let go. And even after assaulting a police officer. All right. So let me share my screen again. So this is a still shot. Let me get here. All right, this is a still shot, and I'm going to go over the story. That's a still shot. And all of these people around here, when those cops are down on the ground, they start kicking on them cops. And if you already saw the clip, it don't take long to watch it. It's pretty quick. But yeah, if it was us, everybody standing up would have been shot. So we know all that smoke and bullets and comply and oh, you don't comply and all that. You sure ain't telling these migrants to comply. All that crap you like to say to us, you're not saying none of that to all these migrants, and they are committing all kinds of crime every single day. So let's get into it. So there was a video that captured a mob of migrants that were pounding on a pair of cops out in, this was near Times Square. This happened just this past weekend. That's when it happened. So the suspects were apprehended and released back to the streets without bail. You see how they're kicking on them cops? When you watch the footage, they're kicking and kicking and kicking and kicking and it's like, oh my goodness. Yeah. Trying to pull the cop over the one they're trying to get and kicking and kicking and kicking and throwing the cops around. Yeah. But I thought, see, when we complain about the cops, what do? Back to blue. Back to blue. Blue lives matter. You notice they're not saying any of these things when these cops get attacked by migrants. They sure don't have those things to say, do they? So, once again, those things are just for us. That's why you don't ever hear them saying that to anyone else. So the funny thing is, I know a lot of us are saying, they brought them over here as a buffer against us. But right now, they are turning on them folks. Now, look at those cops. Those are two white cops, y'all, that they are attacking. Those are two white cops. All right. So there was footage, and I put the link to the footage already out there so y'all could watch it, that shows NYPD officers. And they said they were telling the migrants to move on. And this happened on West 42nd Street in Manhattan at 8:30. Before things quickly got rowdy and scuffles broke out between the cops and the suspect that they wrestled down to the ground because he was pushing back on them cops. That's when the rest of the migrants, they started raining a bunch of kicks on the cops' heads and bodies. And you see that clearly in the clip. So they were trying to apprehend the one that had on the yellow sweatshirt, but it got completely torn off of him. And the video shows the two cops left on the ground as they all grabbed the guy that they were trying to apprehend and they run off. So the police initially arrested 4 of the asylum seekers. You know, y'all, aren't these the ones that y'all say they work hard? Well, this is what your hard workers are on the streets doing. They're attacking cops. And of all cops, NYPD. This is what your hard workers are out here doing, America, because y'all love putting that mess in our face. This is what your hard workers are out here doing. Okay. So these are the names, and these probably aren't even their names, y'all, because I really believe when they're getting arrested, they're giving fake names. So one was named Darwin Andres Gomez, 19 years old, Calvin Savant Arocha, 19, Juarez Wilson, 21, and Yarman Revon, 24. And I bet you that's not even none of their names. How much you want to bet? I believe every time these migrants are getting apprehended, they are giving fake names. I bet you that's none of their names. See, this is what happens when you let people in the country unvetted. Okay, this is what happens. And just look at how they are treating these cops. These are the ones your politicians are saying to open up the doors of your house and let them stay with you. So if they do cops like this, you think they're going to have a problem ganging up on citizens? They probably already have. And we just haven't heard about it out here in the news. Okay. Yeah. Every time I see their names, I said, I bet you this is not even their names. I know they're giving fake names. This is the criminal class that Chile, Venezuela, Ecuador, and all these different countries that they're coming from, they're dumping their criminal class on America. See, your criminal class is not going to have a problem attacking cops. But look at the level of restraint these police officers have. You didn't even see them pull a taser, pull a gun, pull a nightstick. They didn't do none of those things that they do with our people, y'all. These folks are using up taxpayer money and assaulting police officers and not even getting in trouble for it. So if you did not believe that all of the violence from these cops are just for the Black community, maybe you will start believing it now. Maybe you will believe it now. Here, I'm going to put it in the chat one more time, because I know some more people have came in, but let me go on. All four were charged with assault and then released without bail. So they said one was an NYPD lieutenant and the other was a police officer. And all they did was tell a group of migrants to move on. That's all they did. And they got assaulted. Okay. Now, the one they were trying to apprehend that was down on the ground, he was Hoan Bolda, 22 years old. And he was arrested and charged with attempted assault of a police officer, according to police sources. But they had to let him go too. Can you imagine you kicked a cop in the head and you got let go? And in the story, I don't see any of the "I feared for my life," all the crap they love saying when they're dealing with us. Don't see that nowhere in the story, y'all. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office says it's still investigating the incident and reviewing additional video of the assault. The two officers that were assaulted were not identified, and they suffered minor injuries and were treated at the scene. One sustained cuts to the face, while the other had bruising to the body, according to sources. Now, they said one of the suspects has 2 open cases already in Manhattan for assault and robbery. One of the suspects have 2 open cases for assault and robbery, and they still let him go. So he now committed another offense on the cops and still got let go. And the incidents where the same guy in November, he allegedly pushed, punched, and bit an employee at Nordstrom Rack. And the employee was trying to stop him from shoplifting $130 in items from Union Square store. And this is according to law enforcement. So that's where the assault and robbery charges come from. So they said the same suspect that was out there fighting the cops punched with a closed fist a loss prevention officer at the Herald Square Macy's. Okay, so he's just going from store to store and fighting cops and everything. So this same guy that was out there with open cases was in Herald Square Macy's. He was trying to pull off another robbery with 2 other people, according to sources. Attacks on officers are becoming epidemic. Well, they were saying that before the migrants were doing this. So how come the police unions are not coming out big on this like y'all do with us? Whenever one of us are killed in a big protest breakout, don't these police union presidents be all over the media running their mouth? You notice they're not doing that here? How many times have you heard the police union presidents come out and raise hell because these migrants were assaulted. But we have seen them come out numerous times when they kill one of our people unarmed. The union president always coming out to say nothing was done wrong by the cop. The cop didn't do anything wrong. But you notice, because they said these migrants have attacked police all over this country. So it's happening in other cities as well. Where are the police unions to come out with your big mouth? You got your big mouth open when it's us. Where are you now? You don't see any of them coming out in a big way about these migrants and all the crimes they're committing and the cops having to apprehend and let these people go. You don't hear a peep out of them. So, NYPD said, it's becoming impossible to deal with the crime and disorder that's coming from these migrants, but apparently they don't care because they keep releasing them. So the shocking incident is just the latest example of asylum seekers running amok of law enforcement in the Big Apple since migrants began flooding the 5 boroughs back in the spring of 2022. More than 172,000 migrants from the U.S. border with Mexico have flooded into the Big Apple over the span, with more than 67,000 still housed in city shelters and hotels. Your taxpayer money is taking care of these migrants, and they're out here robbing stores, fighting people, employees in the stores, and fighting the cops. So they said that, there was a fatal stabbing at one of these shelters in New York, and someone 24 years old, and I believe it was another migrant that was killed on January 7th. And they said there's nothing but fights going on in those shelters. So they said this week alone, nearly 100 migrants have been arrested for pickpocketing. So right now, there's a team of these asylum seekers all over the streets, and they know when to go out there. They said they know that Friday and Saturday are big days that people go to these bars and clubs and pubs and everything all over the city and restaurants. And they're out there in a big way now on a Friday and Saturday to pickpocket people in Greenwich Village. Also, this month, near the Brooklyn Floyd Bennett Field, where it's a 2,000 bed migrant tent shelter, there's been complaints of lawlessness by the occupants. So they're committing crimes on each other in these tent shelters. So by September of this year, 40 migrants had been arrested at the Roosevelt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan. That is another location where thousands of migrants are staying around in that area and at that hotel. So, y'all, America has created this monster. But, y'all, I want you to keep something in mind. Them folks are the biggest ones they are attacking. But the intent was to bring these people here and unleash them on us. And look at what's happening. They are turning on them. So, y'all, Yeah, see, you know why they're going after them? They know they are the ones with the money. Maybe it didn't pay to boast to the world that you were in charge and you got all the money and you got all the resources, because guess what? These migrants know you got all the money and resources too. That's why they're coming directly for you. They even said they know black people don't have nothing. So why even bother robbing them or doing anything to them? See, sometimes the things you intend for us will turn on you. Yes, it will. So I would like to thank Greg 144 for becoming a new member. Dark Skin Brother, thank you for your 4 super stickers. And Angela Efferson, thank you for the super sticker. So, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you for being here. And tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a live stream. Trump's people are telling him they don't want Tim Scott as a VP. You know, America is not a racist country. Yeah. Well, they're telling Trump they don't want him to be a VP pick. Oh, yeah. I'm going to love doing that live stream tomorrow, and I hope to see each and every one of you there. Please enjoy the rest of your night, ladies and gentlemen, and be on the lookout for my videos for tomorrow. And if you haven't had a chance to see the ones I put out today, please get over to my channel and watch those videos. Shalom, family.